Hey, it's
Okay.
Deep Dive with Spencer Bennett, the voice of West Texas, and yours truly,
Hello.
Brant. And I tell you what, it's not a deep dive at all. We're talking where I've been this last weekend, and Spencer, $50 rice. What's next, man? I mean, it's like Ghostbusters, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, another social experiment like they had with toilet paper, and of course, folks, they already knew that toilet paper was going to be just fine, but with rice exports from, you're about to find out, being banned. What's the skinny, Spencer, and how are you?
Well, we will all be skinny if we don't do something about this food shortage, Brent. And don't think the Ghostbusters line was lost on me. I appreciate that reference. Love that
Cats and
reference.
dogs living together, mass hysteria. Oh man, I don't want to make light of it, but it
Well,
just
for those of us who knew this was coming, Brent,
yeah,
we have prepared.
yeah,
We have prepared where the
yeah,
normies and the people that weren't paying attention to all the food processing plants burning down. Oh,
yeah.
crazy. Big cow farm explodes. How many cow farms in your life have you ever heard the cow farm exploded, Brent, killing 18,000 cows?
Well, you
You
don't, y'all.
don't hear
Well,
that kind of
but
stuff.
you
Over
also don't hear.
2,000. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, you finish your thought, my man. Go ahead.
Well, over 2,000 food processing plants. I think it's like 2,200 food processing plants mysteriously catch fire, explode
Did you hear that,
in the
folks?
United States and abroad. It looks like this is a planned shortage. What do
Hey,
you think?
go. Well, the elites have all the food in the world. Stalin knew the power of using food
Sure, he starved his people.
as a weapon. China, Venezuela, where they were eating off the street. Boy, they sure wanted that socialism. Oh, that
How'd that work out?
equality. Yeah, all that diversity and equity. Boy, that went a long way. With Venezuelans eating off the streets. I went to a guy in college who was rich from the oil industry in Venezuela. Well, somebody is rich now. The first lady of Venezuela is a billionaire now, with all
Yeah.
the seized, oil companies and such. And, I mean, it just kind of brings me back to North Korea, socialism, equality, equity, diversity. Well, they didn't say diversity over there, but
And they all go together with starvation.
oh, sure they do. I mean, Kim promised North Koreans, meat and rice with every meal. Well, just give me your freedoms, give me your land. Well, look what happened. But
Yeah.
Spencer, the people that laugh at voters who vote for their slave masters, the people that call them worthless eaters, the people that call those who vote for a living cheap, the people who call those who are convinced they're oppressed. They may be 400 pounds, but they're oppressed. Who convince them to vote for the same people we can thank for Native American genocide and every scourge on this country, including slavery. They call them idiots behind closed doors, and now
Useful idiots.
And you know what? Are they wrong?
They're not wrong. Marx called these easily manipulated people, he called them useful idiots. And who were the first people he eliminated? And I mean killed after the communists took power. It was the useful idiots. Yeah. So let's just go back to starvation right quick, since some people are going to be doing that. We were talking about rice at the beginning of this. I just shared with Brant off air about a story of India banning. Now, India is a major rice producer.
Right.
And they've decided they're going to worry about their own people eating. So they have banned rice exports from their country. And in doing so, they have set off a panic in the United States and other places, because a 20-pound bag of rice that you could have bought last week for $15-16 at Sam's, now close to $50 a bag. So California, New Jersey, Illinois, Alabama, Texas, and California all seeing panic buying of bags of rice. Don't go try to go buy it now. You might be able to find some, but they just showed video of people crawling all over those Sam's pallet shelving, just pulling down bags of rice and panic buying right now, much like you said with toilet paper that used to happen, that happened during the pandemic. But can you imagine what's going to happen when the store shelves are no longer stocked? And you know what they say, Brent, about 72 hours and we become animals. That was basically a fact. And I'm not comparing us to animals, but you get hungry enough, you start to act like one within 3 days. And that's usually the amount of time that it's from processor to shelf and shipping that stuff to our stores. 3 days. If that's cut off after 3 days, if you go hungry, you will do just about anything to eat. And some of these people who've been doing this microwave society where they go and get fast food, they're not going to have any food. So what are you going to do? You don't have anything stocked up. Used to eating out all the time. You didn't prepare. Well, you're going to go take advantage of your neighbor, unless your neighbor's armed. And then that would be a bad idea. But our mindset.
That would be racist, though. That's racist to.
It doesn't matter when you're hungry. Hunger knows no color. You know what I'm saying? Hunger knows no color. White folks, black folks, brown folks, yellow folks, doesn't matter. You're hungry, and you'll do just about anything to eat or feed your kids. And what would happen to this country within 72 hours if food was cut off?
Well, I think we might find out.
I'm afraid we are.
But hey, you got to vote to kill them babies, though. You got to vote to all this LGBT garbage, Marxist, communist propaganda garbage. Hey, look, I love people, and there's people I love who are gay, but even they will tell you, look, drag queens don't belong in children's elementary story hour and doing lap dances with children. It's all a distraction, Spencer.
Yeah, it is. And we've been distracted from preparing for what's coming. We know that hard times are going to be coming on this nation because of the policies that are being enacted by this administration. And the problem is you have educators, these professors who go, communism just hasn't worked in the past because it wasn't done right. And I think this time socialism, communism can work in America. But these are the people teaching our kids. They're the same people that teach kids. They don't know their gender. They're gender fluid. They're telling them that they came from goo to zoo to you.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, goo to zoo to you.
To you.
To you. Thank you, evolution. They're teaching them everything but what the real foundation of God's word and truth is. I mean, we know that God's word is truth, but we also know that you've got to have truth in a society. If you build it, what did Jesus say about building on shifting sands, Brent?
Well, it'll come crashing down. You got to build on the rock.
And we have built on sands for decades, and now we're reaping the harvest of a generation. And I can tell you, Brent, I think this is going to be a wake-up call for this generation. Though we know hard times are coming, those of us who have prepared, and I'm not saying hoard your food and keep other people from getting it. I just wanted to make this point. As Christians, because we know to prepare, because God tells us a man sees evil coming and he does what? He prepares for it. Then we can take what we have and share the gospel and lead a whole generation to Christ, because I bet they listen. It's kind of like the old soup kitchen adage. Yeah, we'll feed you, but you're going to hear the message. You're going to hear the message when we feed you. You may not like the message, but you'll at least be able to sit down and you're going to have to listen to it while you eat. That's coming. And this generation that has been mutilated by their wine drinking, how can I put this without being too seriously un-PC? Let's call them Munchausen by proxy parents who think the next Gucci bag is having a child who's transgender and mutilating their child and cutting off their own legacy, Brant, because their bloodline will die.
Well, they were convinced it was the right.
Children, they're sterilized. Am I getting too hard here? I'm sorry. I'm getting too hard.
Hey, not with me.
5 or 10 years down the road, guess what these kids are going to find out? That their parents are scumbags. Yeah. And do you think there's going to be a turning on those parents and the doctors and everybody else that perpetrated this, the politicians, the doctors, the pharmaceutical industry that will now have to supply them with medications the rest of their life because of hormones and because they've destroyed their bodies? See, that's something they don't ever tell the kids. No, you're a girl. We can fix that for you. You want to have this? You want to go ahead and have it? They don't tell them that it is a lifelong decision. And from a person who can't make a decision about who to vote for because they're getting these kids in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, anybody that does this, Brant, should be locked up in prison at least for the rest of their lives, if that's not the worst thing that happens to them.
Talk of the next pandemic. Of course, you and I saw the atrocities that people don't want to talk about. The leftists want us to forget. Oh, we never mandated for you to have the jab. But I thought, it's only a matter of time till they're using food shortages of that. Come get injected with this stuff that even
come turn in your guns. We'll give you some rice.
Are freaking out about, Laura Bartlett, we love her. One of these days, I'll get Laura on a Zoom call with me.
Oh, she's fantastic. And you know what? She's doing so much great work in saving people's lives.
She is.
Especially when this was going on. Now, we know the Fauci protocol is what killed a lot of people in the hospital. It wasn't necessarily COVID. It was the remdesivir that shut down their organs, built up fluid on their lungs, and killed them.
It mimicked pneumonia. I was shooting a show with Dr. Nigel Big Pond, and this is before all this started. Of course, I got COVID on the plane coming back. I knew right away coming back from Egypt that the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus lab released the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus. And 10 China people, and I love everybody, you know that, but they were coughing their heads off and couldn't find out they were 10 of the 8,000 that China sent in every direction to infect the world with the Obama-funded, Fauci-supervised, weaponized virus that no one seems to want to talk about. And we got reports from a doctor in Arkansas. He was outraged because he was being offered $10,000 to change death certificates to COVID. $39,000 to give you remdesivir that every other country was smart enough to outlaw, but ours, of course. That's why Fauci is the highest paid government official in our country, folks. Did you know that? And then $52,000 to put you on a ventilator and kill you.
I wonder what Mengele was paid back in the day.
What was that?
I wonder what Mengele was paid back in the day.
Well, interestingly enough, the Spanish flu. Have you looked into that?
Oh yeah.
Did you look into the Mr. Gates that was involved with that depopulation thing?
Strange name should resurface again after all these years and find that Bill Gates's relatives.
Descendants. But he tells you to follow the science. I guess that's in between cocktails and raping children on Epstein's Island.
Oh, don't forget climate change. He flies to climate change and burns tons of jet fuel for that.
So, folks, come on, man. I mean, here we are. I just did this national news show with Brigitte, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed at our own people, Spencer. I mean, there's a saying that's turned out to be true. The Dems only need one reason to vote: kill my babies. Gotta kill them babies. And the conservatives only need one reason not to vote.
Yeah.
Of course, pastors, not all of them, but a lot of them are too greedy to even touch the subject matter.
Oh, see, now you brought up something I was going to harp on right now.
Well, let's go at it.
We have seen something unprecedented. We saw for the first time the government suggest that we close our churches, and we did it.
Right.
Why did we do that?
Not all of us.
Why didn't we tell them, you can take a flying leap? Our Constitution says that I have the freedom of religion, and you can't interfere with it.
They didn't shut down strip clubs or death camps, did they? Death centers?
Well, no. Liquor stores were open. But gosh, we got to close down those churches. Those churches are super spread. Remember that term? Super
spreaders.
Yeah. Never forget what they did to us, ladies and gentlemen, folks. They did this to you, and they did this to me, Brant. They made us stand 6 feet apart. They made us go down the aisles of the supermarkets one way and stay far apart. They locked our old people and our relatives in nursing homes and hospitals and wouldn't let us see them. And then they killed them with a protocol, and we watched them die. and we couldn't do anything about it, and we couldn't go see them, and we couldn't hold their hands the last moments of their life. I had a friend of mine that was murdered in a hospital in Dallas, a man who was totally anti-vax, totally anti-Fauci protocol, and they lied to his wife. They faked his voice. They faked the actual medical documents, and they killed him in the hospital for money. We have a medical system. Now, there's some good doctors out there, very few, but any doctor or any hospital that did this, Nuremberg 2.0 is needs to be applied here. These are crimes against humanity. They're crimes against children, elderly, and there's two things I will not abide. It is crimes against children and elderly and hurting animals. Okay. And 2 out of 3, they've already got. I mean, if you get 1 strike, you're already gone, but they got 2 out of 3 so far. Never forget, folks, what they did to us. They want you to forget it. As Brant said, they want you to memory hole it and move on to the next crisis, the next distraction. And, oh, no, look, a submarine. Oh, no, look, a spy balloon that happens to have U.S. registration. Go figure that one out, Brant.
Well, what's amazing even more than all of this is that some people were still stupid enough to vote for him.
And they're going to get it. They're going to get what they want, Brant.
Amazes me.
Yeah.
Watering the tree that hangs you. And then you're shocked and you're offended that a Kamala Biden bailout program for thugs, third world thugs by the millions they're bringing in and flying to any city they want that tolerates it. Here's $200 in a pipe to go destroy a city. Oh, that's okay. They're just getting I'll never forget that crooked piece of garbage mayor of Atlanta at the time. They're just getting their frustrations out. We're going to let them. Oh, wow. Look at downtown Atlanta. I mean, but
look at what they did to Washington, D.C. They burned Washington, D.C.
Above all that, some of you still voted.
Yeah.
For them.
What
were you thinking?
Because you didn't like Orange Man.
Oh, my God. I said this and I don't apologize. I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I had a meeting, over a year ago, and someone wanted to meet with me about something that I said. And I said, let me tell you something. I don't know what you're talking about, but if I said it, I'm in it and I stand by it. If you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, and that goes to anyone watching me right now. There's things. See, I expose where people are coming from, Spencer. You can tell who people are when you tell them no. If you refuse to play the game and they respond with dishonor and disrespect and rage, don't waste your time. Those people need to believe what they believe. And boy, but I was saying in another show, Trump wasn't trying out to be my pastor, folks. He's trying out to be a president, and the numbers don't lie. But some of you, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, the highest minority employment in history. Okay. This guy was getting hugs and kisses from Jesse Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton, who's been ran out of other towns because he only shows up, when it's a publicity stunt. But, I tell you, folks, it's time. We just say it like it is without apology. This newest distraction with the Jason Aldean thing. I'm not a fan of Jason Aldean with his anti-gun stance. But I'll tell you this, he was right. You try some of this in a small town, you got something else coming for you. Wichita Falls, Texas, Antifa shows up in a bus. They were met with, I'm not sure how many, 100, 200 armed Texans ready to get back on that bus, boys, and go down the road. And they did.
Same thing happened in Midland at a BLM protest. Where mainly rich white liberals showed up.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we're going to, and they've been trashing malls, setting things on fire. So they said, we're going to do this at the Midland Mall. Guess who showed up? Most of the good folks of Midland with ARs going, okay, FAFO, go ahead, mess around, find out.
I didn't know about that one. Expound on that a little bit, if you would.
So this happened a couple of years ago during the BLM riots. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. These are the same people who thought it would be a good idea to have a Black Panther stand up. And I'm not racist, folks, but I get called racist because I tell you the truth.
Right. And you
Where they
have
had Black Panthers with their marching jackboots on, and they would say, "Come, white people, kiss our feet and apologize to us and kiss our feet." It's that same mentality of a liberal that would do that, not wash our feet. See, there's difference. Jesus would wash everybody's feet. Didn't matter who they were. They could be the lowliest servant or they could be one of his disciples.
right.
Didn't matter. He would wash their feet.
You
He
know,
didn't kiss anybody's feet.
I yeah.
So this bunch of rich white liberals decided, hey, you know what? We're going to go protest at the mall. Well, guess who showed up? A lot of people who said, don't do it here. And yet strangely, this one was actually peaceful because they realized they didn't have the numbers. They thought that their political ideals, their puffed up sense of shame should overwhelm everyone in the nearby neighborhoods, but it didn't. What it did is it inflamed a lot of people who are not racist, but are tired of being told that that are tired of being told you're a slave owner. I never owned slaves. I know, but you're white. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. This was put to a quick end. Let's put it that way. Well, it was put to a quick end.
Can't we just say that your ancestors and my McFerrin ancestors may not have come to America voluntarily?
No, let's talk about white slavery.
Where's our reparations?
Well, here's the other problem,
Anybody kissing my feet? I don't think so.
We know that the slavery going on right now. Let's jump to the movie that everybody's talking about, Sound of Freedom. We know that there is more slavery in this nation than there's ever been,
right? Even
during the times of the Civil War. And that is human trafficking. And the people that are being trafficked and the little children that have disappeared and being trafficked, being forced to work in wherever, whatever industry. And if you think it doesn't happen, that's because you're not working there, but they're doing it. Yeah. And the slavery is real. Where are the people that are demanding reparations? Where are they in stopping slavery? Or is it just about them?
Well, they're not getting paid.
Some money.
They're not getting paid to advocate for children. They're getting paid. You know, it's like just choose a blue city, folks, where there's not a slum problem, because it's corruption. It's the worst of the worst. It's, you know,
and they vote for the party that did this to them.
Well,
they vote for this.
Well, because
they and that was the point. That was the point in the 60s with LBJ.
Yeah.
He wanted to destroy, and well, let's just go back to Margaret Sanger, who provided abortion because she wanted to wipe out the blacks.
Exactly.
This is genocide.
Why
do you genocide, and it's perpetrated by the left.
Why do you think they put the death camps and the death centers in minority neighborhoods? Why do you think that?
Wow, I don't know, Brent. I'm clueless. Why would they put abortion centers in black neighborhoods? And yeah, we all know why they would, because they are evil. These people are an evil, human sacrificing death cult. Show me something that the left wants to promote that doesn't promote death. Show me something.
I don't know. You know, I don't know. I mean, and again, folks, if you know me, you know that I have advocated for every community out there.
Yeah.
Besides the LGBTQ community. Hey, look, I have people that I love that have a different sexual preference, but don't try to tell my kid that they're a wrong gender, or try to have this Luciferian government change their sex without my knowledge. Or, you know, there's no one more racist than a white liberal. You know, when they talk to hey, I grew up around the Black and Chicano and Asian communities, folks.
Me too.
I've spent years of my life advocating for the Black community because I love them and I see the greatness in them.
Yes.
I'm telling you this, I'll tell their leaders the same truth too. I called a bluff, and I asked Black leaders, you know, not ministers, but community leaders. I got a solution for it. They didn't want it. It's too profitable. Racism is too profitable. So if you're a Black leader, you want to solve the problem of racism in your city, you call BRANT. I got the answer for it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't get resistance from the black community. I get resistance from white liberals who talk down. You know, they may say they're advocating. I remember seeing footage during the BLM, which, by the way, originally was Black Lesbians Matter. That's what it was. But after Soros gave millions to these black lesbians, then all of a sudden it was lives, right? And on top of that, boy, that $6 million went to mansions, didn't go to inner city communities.
I was fixing to say, what did they do for the black community besides burn down their businesses and murder people?
Nothing, because it was sponsored by the enemies of our country. And people don't understand that. And, you know, and I feel for my black brothers and sisters who were lied to by Obama, raised by George Sr. You didn't know that, did you, folks? He was adopted by George Sr. after his assassin coordinated father, died conveniently. And you didn't know that. You didn't know that.
Oh, we could go so many
Bushes
deep dives,
and the Obamas
Brant,
are the same snake, man. You know, and the Biden crime family as well. So we're just calling it like it is. You've been speaking the truth for a long time. So anyway, well, Spencer, that's been our deep dive today. We're exactly right on time. I love talking with you.
What happened?
You've been speaking the truth for a very long time on secular airwaves. And you continue to tell people where to listen to you in the morning real quick. And then I can't wait for the next time.
I'm easy to find. Locally, I'm found on KCRS News Talk 550, but we also have 2 FM stations at simulcast. We have the largest coverage area in West Texas. So KCRS also has an app. Just find the app for that, KCRS 550. You can ask Alexa to play, or you can watch our live stream on Facebook. It doesn't matter. You can find us just about anywhere and hear the latest deep dive.
The best at what he does, Spencer Bennett. Can't wait till the next time. And God bless you, folks. God bless America, my fellow patriot outlaws. And we'll see you on the next deep dive live next Monday's the plan, my man.
Yes, sir. We'll be here.
All right, have a good one. See you. Bless you.
You too.